either your phone or your computer.
Okay, will do.
Probably drop off now.
Yeah, we won't, that's the last we've heard of John, yeah. Do we have any public comments?
Nope.
No. Yeah, I looked at this agenda and said, maybe for next year, we can look at maybe taking a pause in July, just a thought. Okay, so we have the approval of minutes from May 14th. I did read through them fairly thoroughly because Marty was not here. And I did not notice anything that needed correction.
This is Ed. I move we approve the minutes for May 14th PPAC meeting.
This is Doug Zancher. I'll say.
Okay, motion made by Ed, seconded by Doug. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Unanimous approval. Moving along to number 6, the financial report.
Patricia, why are you trying to join again? I can already see you.
Technology is our friend.
I can see her and she's trying to join.
Maybe your audio is messed up.
All right, Patricia, you have 2 connections in our meeting. Oh, the other one's gone now. All right, there we go.
Okay, Laura, we're to 6A, if you'd like to open up.
Somebody's giving us a major echo. So if you guys maybe just want to mute if you're not going to talk, if you're online, that should help with that, please. I'm pretty sure it's you, John. All right.
So we're 3/4 of the way through the year, correct?
This is only through May. Let me pull up. I got the June ones. I worked on them yesterday.
So just for clarity, because when we don't see what's the new one, do you want to just go through and state everything you want to state on the June one? And then we'll have questions afterwards?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't really have anything to state on the June ones. I mean, it's
Okay.
just that I didn't have any concerns with anything I saw. Any of the stuff that's over as far as budget line items should not be a surprise to you guys. When I went through them, I mean, most of it's like the stuff for safety and security with the roads and some of the transfers that we were planning on making to cover those overages anyway, because we had planned to make transfers for those items. So there was not anything in here that I went, oh my gosh, what happened?
And there's nothing pending that we don't have anything huge right now.
Not that you're not already aware of, no.
Right. Okay.
No, the biggest thing is the roads, because the pond is done. The biggest thing is the road. So if I go down to, well, I mean, you can even see here, safety and security, they have,
A negative, yeah.
yeah, because a lot of that's, the roads. So they have, $500,000 of encumbered stuff out there. Some of that is the contract for security. It's not all just the road. It's a variety of other things.
So when we look at the unassigned reserves for safety and security of 291,000, how much of that is real?
That's actual money that's set aside for them.
So even though they're minus
That's
3.6.
everything through fiscal
As long as
25.
the minus 43 doesn't get
Bigger
more
than
than 291,
You're
we're
good.
okay.
Yep. That's money that they have sitting in an account that we can just transfer over to wipe out the negative.
Okay,
And,
You do that at the end of the year?
Yes, we don't ever do that until after the financials are audited and we know what the actual final number is going to be. So either if it's a surplus, it goes into the reserves, and if it's a negative, it comes out of the reserves.
I'm a little surprised at how much the ponds,
Well, because you guys budgeted $600,000 for that pond and it only was 3.
okay.
So that's
So
why.
300 of that 405
Is the pond.
Is that would never really transfer?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was in
That
your
was what you were
budget.
borrowing.
Yeah, it was
You
just
did
the way that it
borrow,
was
yeah.
put into the
Yeah,
budget.
the
It
way
was,
it was
it was
done.
borrowed, yeah, so, yes, that's why
Borrowed,
that's, so-
not spent.
correct,
okay.
correct.
All right. Were there any questions on the June budget?
I was just going to say on the lighting project, some of that we were supposed to pay for the removals or last year, but that got moved to this year. So that was part of the overage. But then there's, the tree trimming, sod, some removals of FPL and other things that weren't in that original budget, but we had like 70,000 in streetlight maintenance and repair where that was fine there, so.
Yeah, there's some carry forward from 25 that goes in
Right.
to help offset that because there was stuff that wasn't spent last year that because the job didn't get done before the end of the fiscal year that we plan to pull forward to cover that.
I think they finally did the last piece they've removed the last transformers and stuff, so almost all of that
I
should be coming
think
through
This
in the
is
next month or so.
landscape, safety and security, streetlights. Yeah, we only have like $5,000 left of encumbered stuff. So that was a little bit of that FPL, them coming back, we had to pay them. So there's not much out there. It's pretty much done.
Okay. Thank you, Laura.
And you'll see that again next month and hopefully I'll be able to show you July's as well. So.
Yeah. Okay, let's move along to the subcommittee reports. And
This is ponds.
bonds, right. And at the August 10th meeting is going to be where they talk about what the recommendation is for moving forward with the big pond for next year. Is it 28? Yeah. Now, I did hear that I got a few complaints from people about when they were doing the drainage, they broke into hot wire and had a whole neighborhood that was disrupted. Did you?
That's a fact. The hot wire came out and did not properly mark the line. So it wasn't that Copeland did not, broke the line. He called hot wire came out. They did not mark that line. It was broke. Copeland called hot wire, they were out there that same instant and
And I still got a call. Okay. Do we have any other outstanding bubbler downspout work that we need to do? Ravenna was kind of,
some of the things, that one at Casella was the only one.
that was due
I
to
got a bunch of
erosion.
phone calls after, because I contacted you. I got people calling going,
That was about Ravenna.
oh, is that Ravenna? I
yeah.
thought it was Casella for some
Yeah,
reason.
they weren't, the one unit at Ravenna, we were only doing the bank.
Right.
And putting a bubbler on the bank, because they thought there was lines, freon lines and stuff towards the house. And so we were only doing the bank. We weren't bringing it back to the gutter on the back of the house.
And we still,
Once they started digging at the bank, a couple homeowners went crazy
Yes.
and called everyone. Because they thought that, and they actually went and told the contractor that he had to stop working.
oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
But they didn't know that they weren't taking it back. They just thought since they were there, they were going to take it all the way to the back.
But you handled that nicely, thank you. I sent it to Doug and said, hey, can you talk to these people? And he did, so, or you or Jim.
Any other questions? It looks like we still have some missing pond signs. Are those on
Skip
order?
landscape, sorry. I just realized
I
that.
think, I think some of them, that we had some extras for those ponds. I think there's a couple that have to be, new ones created.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I think it was through just, hurricanes and.
Work.
And some of them maybe never had a sign.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I have to go back up here, sorry. I do want to, there was a little confusion with that $9,000 thingy. I never got your approval. When he forwarded the request, he did not include your approval, and that was why we kicked it
I
back.
thought you were copied on.
I went back and I checked all my emails, and I even looked at that thread that he sent, and I was not on it.
Okay.
So that is
Well,
why, that's
I
why
will
we
make
kicked it
sure that
back.
you are.
Yeah, that's why we kicked it back, because you need to, it needs to include your approval when it comes to us, which I
Okay.
know we talked about that. And
Right.
he got a little upset because I kicked it back. I'm like, Peggy has to prove it. And he's like, well, just forget it then. And I'm like, okay. So we did. And then I get a call saying, where's my PO? And I'm like, well, I didn't approve it because he told us to not, and I need Peggy's approval. And he said, I got it. And I said, I didn't see it. And so then he forwarded and I looked and I was not on it.
Okay,
So that
all
was
right.
why. So yeah,
will-
if you could
I
just make
will
sure, it doesn't need to be
double
me.
check.
It should be accounts payable because Sherry and I have access to that. That way, if either one of us isn't here, it'll still get handled.
Okay,
So, but yeah, that was the reason that happened is because we never saw your approval.
and I'm like looking at this going, I've already
He
approved
just said
this.
Peggy approved it and we're like, okay, where's the approval?
Yeah, okay,
So
but that's fair.
that was the hang up with that.
Yeah, and so this was approved like a week and a half ago.
Yeah, I pushed that PO out. As soon as I got the email that had your approval in it, I pushed the PO out the same day.
Okay.
So,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Anybody have any suggestions as to what to do about those Washingtonian palms?
Don't put them in.
Well, that's a fine suggestion, but
Why is it that one spot that keeps getting hit, that just,
I don't understand why they couldn't put lightning rods or something like that around there or something.
Might be worth the
They do that.
discussion, yeah.
I mean, I don't think replacing them again for the fourth or fifth time is the right solution.
how much does that cost to replace, do you
The
know?
last ones were about, I think, 15,000 for the 4.
yeah, they were not
Bob,
cheap.
do
I
you wanna come up?
remember.
and those are the short ones, not the tall
And
ones.
they were not the tall ones, so we thought we were avoiding the lightning strike issue. Obviously
Bob
not.
Gephardt from Brenna. Mark would like nothing better than to get rid of the Washingtonian palms.
He's been asking as long
He's
as
been
I've
asking
been
that for
here.
years,
Yep.
but the last time this came up, which was about 3 years ago, the discussion was they were there initially because of the appearance and they wanted to maintain that. And at the time, the group was willing to continue to replace them. But there weren't alternative suggestions to make the Washingtonian palms better. There were alternative suggestions to replace them with something shorter, but they're the tallest thing. So whatever you want to do, Mark's fine
Who's
with it.
Yeah, the
responsible?
four corners that,
Who's what?
I was going to say, should that be coming out of the landscape committee, a recommendation as to what to do to replace them or to
Well,
put
if you
them
leave it to
back?
them, and you can, they'll change them.
I would
That's
say-
fine. I would appreciate them doing it.
was-
They have
was that
better
it was
knowledge of
A
it.
community perspective that was required because WCI put them in. If things have changed, they can be changed.
They've changed.
I think the thing that's changed is the last 3 years, they've been hit every year. Yeah,
They've been hit a lot more frequently
No,
than
I
that,
mean,
but
since
yes.
they made the decision where they wanted to keep it, but the
The only
only,
reason you know that they're being repaired now is you got a landscape committee. Prior to that, they were just done. Castle just did it. But this is not, it's not new. It's an ongoing, has been forever
and
issue.
it's something to do with the Washington palms are more susceptible.
Right.
But
But lightning never strikes twice in the same place.
it only strikes that one corner. The
Yeah, I
other
know.
3 corners, it don't.
It's
Yeah,
just-
we'll have a conversation
Right.
with Mark and
Mark,
we'll
get
we'll
some
make sure that we
the ch-
throw it back to them.
I think the challenge is you've got the four corners, and ideally you would want them to have a similar look and appearance on all four corners. And it's just that one that keeps getting hit. But
Yeah, I think you just let your landscape committee make a recommendation.
Yep.
That's what they're here for.
That's what I would suggest as well.
Yep.
Okay. We'll
Okay.
we'll bring it back to Mark.
Right.
And now we're moving on to safety and security.
Sorry, I skipped the landscape.
Oh, that's all right.
Right past it.
So we've got a time frame for all the work to begin.
supposed to be done by the end of August, I think, everything.
But I haven't really seen activity.
Oh, they're doing the concrete. Valley gutters being done.
Yeah, they've been working on the gutters. Is that
I
what?
think they're done. Valley gutters are all done. It's new concrete out there today.
Yeah, they were working on that earlier this week.
Maybe
Yeah,
I'm just not
I
observing.
was curious whether that was part of this or something else. Okay.
Okay.
And just as a footnote, through David Hamilton and Paul Flores, the Pelican Preserve Community Association has asked for a quote to line from Vincenza down to the dog striping down to the dog park, just to see what the number would be, if it would be less, because they're already out there.
That's going
But
to
that's
be
yellow.
resurfaced in the next couple years.
Is it?
Yeah, that's why they held off on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's responsible for that resurfacing?
Jay, it's safety and security. Oh,
No, that's,
From
that's
Vincenza down to the dog parks.
that's PPCA.
Do
PPCA,
you
yeah.
know, I'm not aware of it. It's to be
It was
resurfaced.
in the reserve thing, and they talked about coordinating it when we do the,
Okay, David.
Probably next
David
year,
asked
probably
for-
next year.
Okay, so I'll talk to David.
yeah, so it doesn't, yeah, it needs restrike, but it doesn't make to be restriked.
Not if you're gonna, no, resurface
In a
here,
couple of years, yeah.
Okay.
where we're getting all the money.
Okay, so the other thing besides the big work on Pelican Preserve was more signage.
Yep, they approved that to spend the money to get everything done this year. Mark has placed that order. So those are all ordered and we're just waiting for them to arrive.
Your mark, not,
Our Mark.
yes,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Staff has placed the order.
Staff has replaced.
Our Mark, yes.
We're also now having to consider what to do with that front entrance, because again, as you know, a truck has gone through it and knocked it.
Yes, he bought a proper MUTCD approved sign. I actually have that for my staff update thing. The company, I guess I can just talk about it now since we're talking about signs. The company that hit the whatever you want to call it.
Overhang.
The overhang, the portcullis, whatever it is, the drive-through thing there, they are taking their responsibility to repair it. We have requested a structural inspection of it because our Mark went out to look at it and there's some pretty severe cracking that goes way out from where they hit it. That is definitely the worst strike that has taken since I've been here. So we've requested that they do not make any repairs until that has a structural engineer come and look at it, because we think that there's a lot more going on than what you can actually see. So we're just waiting for them to get back. I follow up, I poke her about every 3-4 days to see where they're at. And they're waiting on their insurance at this point, so.
They being the people that hit
They
it.
hit it, yes. They are using their insurance to repair the gatehouse, but we will be involved. I don't have a timeline yet, but I'll make sure I follow up with you guys as soon as I know, so.
How can you not remember that you're towing something that big? I mean,
Yeah.
that to me is just like, I'll blame it on the heat. We're going to say it's the heat. Yeah.
And one of the, I'm sure safety and security will be talking about it, but one of the options that could be done would be to put right where the curb separates between the two areas, but posts up with a bar across or a hanging 9'6" that they would hit. But some of these yahoos, even if they hit that, unless it was rigid, they would probably drive on and not notice it.
We had mentioned that before and nobody liked it because it didn't look nice.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
was an aesthetic thing, as I recall.
But after, we're starting to get a lot more complaints from the residents about all the damage to the. to the thing.
It's
So
actually, it's
like-
been a while since it's gotten hit. I mean, we were on a roll there for a while. Hadn't even gotten the first hit done and someone else hit it and didn't get that fixed and then someone else hit it. So, yeah.
I think every one of them, it's been, the person responsible's been charged for the damages or taken care
Absolutely.
of it.
Yes,
So
I've pursued
it's not
that to
like
make sure
it's-
that
But
we
it's
didn't.
still
Yeah.
it's a nuisance if
Yeah,
not,
there was-
and
you
it's work
guys-
you need to do.
You fronted the cost, but were reimbursed in full for those, so.
Well, if there's enough structural, I asked Paul if we could potentially raise the roof so you had more clearance. If there's enough structural.
Just means they come in with a bigger truck.
Yeah.
Maybe we just have a sign that all commercial vehicles,
And they'll forget that too.
passenger vehicles only.
Yeah. Okay, so anything else on safety and security?
I think that's.
Do you know if this thermoplastic bike lane thing, I've read a little because I didn't know what it meant. I read up on it and they basically said there's two types. You can put it down and it's the regular type of thermoplastic is slips when it gets wet. And you can also get a slip resistant type thing. It costs more money. I didn't know if they looked at that.
Or it's slip resistant.
Most of it wouldn't only be potentially probably in the bike lane where that
No,
might
that's
be
what it
the-
is. It's
the
on the
issue,
bike lane.
but-
They said sometimes bikes can, because it is slippery when it gets
I
wet.
could,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Just ask.
Okay. So John, nothing from you or Patricia on this?
I'm guessing
From you.
Patricia is frozen.
Okay.
She's had the same look on her face the whole time she joined, so.
She's intent.
It hasn't moved. She hasn't moved. She's been like frozen right there, so,
It is riveting.
yeah.
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 Okay. Well, let's move along then.
She's extremely focused.
8A, what's 8A?
Okay, so the next thing we've got. At the,
Oh,
Oh, I passed,
Perry, Perry. If you look at the last item on his agenda, it talks about the post orders
yeah,
and
Jennifer and I are working on that.
access and stuff, so, for the guard gates,
yep.
so.
Yeah, the issue just been vendors, not checking certain vendors, particularly the ones that bring the meal, that brings DoorDash. They go to the wrong house, the resident gets upset, how did they get in here? But so often, they don't have a name, they just have an address. So Jay's working on trying to figure out a solution so they don't slow down the process. He's got to be careful how he words it. If he says the word vendors, then everybody has
Well,
to check.
they were, I can clarify some of that. I did talk to Joe Carter, who's the supervisor he's the supervisor of the people in the gatehouse. They do not stop Amazon, UPS, FedEx, any of those people, because there's no way, they would take a half an hour to get all the addresses down for where they're going, so they don't stop them when they come in.
And now half of the Amazon are
Cars.
private,
That's the problem.
Yeah.
private vehicles now
Right.
too, so.
Right.
Are they stopping them? I mean, that's the problem, because DoorDash, it's all private vehicles.
They could be going to more than one house too,
Correct.
so,
Correct.
yeah.
Jay's trying to figure out how to word that.
Yeah, that's going to
Well,
be
I mean,
tricky.
it gets tricky because technically it's a public road. So that's where we have that difficult conversation of it's not a gated community, it's a community with a gate, so.
And I think the priority they're trying to do is get the residents to use Dwelling Live.
Right,
If you're on Dwelling Live, that's.
yeah,
yep,
it's
you're there, In
easy.
you go.
Yep, it's easy.
So,
So again, I think it's like you guys have talked about quite a bit, and safety and security as well, it's an education. It's an education thing for the community.
Yep, and we are trying. Okay, let's move along then.
All right.
So this is a communications review.
Yep, I did hand out where everybody's sitting. Patricia sent that to me yesterday. That's been checked over by Chelsea, Randy, myself, Carol, because she has a quote in there, and obviously Patricia, because she put it together. So that that will be going out as soon as the letters go out for the assessment, which should be hopefully tomorrow. We had one little snag that we're working through on the letter side, but as soon as those go, we're going to push the button to send that out. Since Patricia's not here, she asked Randy to make that happen. So that will happen. But she asked if I would print that out for you guys so you could see what she
Well,
was
if you
going to
wait, if you
send.
wait till those letters go out, you might want to change the first sentence.
That's why we were going to push it out the day that they're mailed, because that way,
Oh, but it says later this month you will receive it.
yeah, well, you'll get that before the letters come. So as soon as I know the letters go to the printer, we can send that out and the letters will follow.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm just waiting for them to tell us that they've sent the letters
When
to
you
the
said it, I
printer.
thought they were letter,
I thought it was reversed.
No,
Yeah.
no, that'll go out first, because that's email. As soon as we know the letters have been sent to the printer, we'll send that out, because that goes via email, so you'll get that right away.
So other ones in the works are,
Well, hi, everybody. Can you hear
oh,
me?
hi.
She's back.
Hi.
she moving?
I just, yeah, so what
No,
we'll
she's
do
frozen
is-
again, but.
Oh, hello?
No, we can hear you. You're just that your video, you might want to just turn your camera off.
Oh, I don't know how to do that. So only person can see me is you, right, Laura?
Yeah, well, and anybody else online.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I just wanted to say we would probably follow up with some information about the road repavement and everything about that going forward. Because, as it gets closer to some of the major work, we'll want to put out a reminder of that.
Mm.
And I can't think of anything else. Anybody else have anything they want to put out to the community? Let me know.
Can't think of anything at this point. We should give you a little bit of a break. You've been chugging along with this stuff.
Yeah,
And-
well,
And enjoy
but
the
the-
peace and quiet, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks good though. Thank you. Okay, so then we're going to move along to the renderings, which
We don't have, they will be provided to you in August.
oh, okay.
There was, they didn't feel that they would have enough time to put together something good for you to see, so they'll.
There's no rush.
Yeah, and I know that that's it as well. So you will have that. I sent him the invitation to the August meeting, Bill Prezy, who's working on it. I sent him the invitation today for the August meeting, so he will definitely have, I gave him deadlines for everything. I'm like, I need this by this date, I need this by this date, I need this by this date. So we will have an update for you. Basically, the update is that we'll have an update.
Got it, got it. So,
That will include the marker for the March.
yeah,
If you're
can we
redoing
redo the
everything, you can
gatehouse
try-
too? Yeah. So, no bites on the land then?
No.
Nothing?
Nope.
When are we expiring on that
I
contract?
think it's got a couple of months left on it. I don't remember off the top of my head.
And what are the options for the next steps on that? Just renew?
Renew it or do nothing. It does not auto renew, to the best of my knowledge. It's done, and if you want to continue it, then you can, but we would have to initiate that. We took out the auto renew. I know they got bought out by somebody. I think we talked about this a couple months ago, and they wanted to extend it for like a whole year. We're like, no, you can take over the existing contract. So-
And they did change the signs
Yeah, they say
to the new
people.
company.
I never
Both-
paid
both
attention.
of
I
the
drive by it
signs.
every day
I just
twice,
happened to
so-
drive by when the guy was out there replacing the signs.
Okay.
They're going to need lead time to get that renewed?
That usually goes pretty quick. It's just because you've already approved everything in the terms and it won't change. It would just be the dates. So, if.
Can you put it on the August agenda?
You want me to add that to the August
Yeah.
agenda?
Are they going to
Okay.
be compensated or not-
No.
only upon sale? So that's
Correct.
why wouldn't we extend it?
Correct.
You know, it doesn't cost us anything.
Yeah, just upon sale.
Oh, and we might want to talk about lowering the price.
Was the other thing is, does the new company have a different opinion on the value? Yeah, true. Okay.
Would you like me, what I can do, I think Chelsea's been the one who's been dealing with them, but she or I can reach out to them and see if they have any input or suggestions for, maybe ways
Yes,
to get
please.
more.
Harvest the trees on it and put them out that four-way.
Shelter.
I put a homeless shelter.
Transplant them to the four-way stop.
Okay, let's move along then to our, is it budget? Yep.
All right. This is just the approved budget. It was too complicated to do the things that you asked me to do and put them on here, so I figured I'll just do them live while we're sitting here.
Mhm.
I'm gonna pull this up.
And you've had nothing else to do?
No, I've been totally bored, yeah. If you do decrease the ponds, we will have to we had to increase something else, because I think the way it worked out,
Take out the 49.
I put the 149,000 I assessed that, yes, I took out the offset for that. I had to figure out how to make that work. So this.
Anybody know any good jokes?
Stupid, sorry. Lovely. Hang on, my Excel just froze up. Happens when you have like a 40 tab workbook. It does. I even saved it to my desktop hoping that that would stop this from happening, and it still happened. Let's close it and reopen it. There was an update to my Microsoft today, so of course. All right. All right. So we talked about,
We had like 2 or 3 scenarios that we were,
right back, I left it on my desk.
generally, the bigger consideration right now is what to do with the big pond, correct?
Whether or not we bank 300K this year
Do it this year
or next year, either way, you're going to have, either you bank 300K this year and use that next year to add to a 300K, but I'm just approximate
I know.
600K.
I had that we were gonna remove the 650K and you're either gonna do 500 or 400
For banking, right?
Yes, for in the
That's a
reserves.
bad word, but.
in a reserve. Put it into reserves.
Okay, yes.
So, let me go. Other way. All right, take out. Okay, so I moved the 149, well, I removed the offset of the 149,000 to make, so that is assessed. And I put, you originally had $70,000 in the capital projects reserve, which was half of the 140,000 for stormwater cleaning. That was original. So with the version I'm looking at right now, has $570,000 in there. So I did it with the 500K. And that would put you guys at, let me find my little. Actually raises it up to 4.3% for single family and 0.6 for the multifamily, and it drops the golf club down to 50,000 from 78.
And so that's a no-go, because it's
No, because
higher.
that's above the high water mark.
Yeah.
No, it's below. It went from 78. Oh yeah, because we have to change it because, yeah, you're at 4.3,
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying we
that's-
can't.
that- we
That's-
Yeah,
can't-
because
that's no good.
I'm guessing we have to take that 149,000 out, so you'll have to do like 350,000 or 250,000
Right.
to offset that extra 149, because it's more now, yes. So that didn't work. So that was why I said it was tricky for me to put it in here, because it actually increased it and we couldn't do that.
So then the alternative that we could look at is taking some of the unassigned reserves from some of the other committees and shifting that assignment over.
Or you have a general pool of unassigned reserves that isn't assigned to any specific committee that you could pull from instead. So if you, I mean, landscape has always got plenty of money, but it's up to you if you choose to pull from a different committee or from your truly unassigned reserves. So,
I want to make sure that if the ponds group thinks they need to do that pond next year, that we can do it.
Right.
That's my main concern. And from what I've heard, that would be the preferred option.
so if I would take that down to 420,000, which would be 350,000 for the ponds, plus the 70,000 that you already had in there, it puts you at I can't read this.
My glasses?
No, I'm good. I just have to make my screen bigger. Minus 0.1% for single family, minus 2.2 for multifamily, and at 8.7% for the golf course, or $20,000 versus the $78,000 increase that it was originally.
Why is it so vastly different?
It's because of the ponds. It's the way that the waterway is allocated, because the golf course is mostly pervious service.
Those numbers you just read, what were they, what change did that do that you just said? That the results, you give me the results. What changes did you make in the spreadsheet?
I put $350,000 for the pond.
Yeah.
Versus the 650.
Versus the 650. So I took 300,000 off, basically.
Okay.
But keep in mind, we also are assessing an additional 149,000, but the allocation, the way that that's broken out is different. So, but that will get you, basically you're at break even for residential, and it knocked $58,000 off of the golf
And that's
courses.
the bank, that 350 in
Would
there,
be-
would they be the bank for the
Yes.
following year?
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
Or we spend it and we pull from unassigned reserves in some way.
Correct.
Capital.
Yeah,
Does that
because I mean,
change
the
that?
bottom line, it's in the waterway budget, so it all gets allocated the same way. It's
Okay,
just which
so-
line I
so
put it
that-
on.
If you did what Peggy just said, you would not affect the numbers you just read?
No, so if I take it and I move it from the reserve line up to the pond line, if I put the reserves back at 70,000 and then put the pond at 350,000, it has,
Wish we could
it's
see this,
it's
'cause
exactly the same.
Yeah.
I can't
It's
follow.
it's very hard.
I can't follow.
Yeah,
what
I'm
you're
sorry,
doing.
it's saved on my desktop, so I don't have any
Is it
way
on the
to,
screen?
let me
It's not connected.
let me do this. Give me a second, let me email it to the
And
boardroom.
we don't spend it.
And it goes to unassigned reserves.
Right.
And it's
Rather than
assessed.
take it out now, what you're trying to do is take it and put it.
Towards,
And it's already assessed money.
it doesn't change anything for the landowners.
Give me a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
gotta
just
get
looking, 3.2 is inflation, so it's, to me, I mean, I don't necessarily want to increase taxes or fees or anything, but on the other hand, sometimes when you don't increase it, the following year it bites you in the butt,
Exactly.
so.
So that's where I was trying to find a happy medium, but it sounds
Really
like
hard
there
for
is
me
no
to work
happy
over
medium.
here.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. So this was the net result of that change. It's really hard for me to work
Let's
off of this.
see the
screen. Just a
changes.
second. Yeah, just give me a second.
Sit closer.
All right, so what I did,
So,
already at 140%, Bob.
Sorry?
It's at 140% already. What I did is I just moved this 350 off of this line, put it up here.
That's in the budget.
Either way, it
Excess.
doesn't matter, it's the bottom line. This whole amount gets allocated the same way. Anything in this budget gets split out amongst everybody the same way. So if I put it on this line, or this line, or this
Right.
line, or this line, it doesn't matter.
As long as you don't
This is
put
the
it,
amount.
the only thing that matters from an assessment
If I put it
standpoint is the reserves,
way
right?
down here is the only thing that it matters from an assessment. So this would be if you would use some other way to pay for it.
Like what she was saying? Where would that, what she was saying, where you take unassigned reserves as opposed, or the landscape or whatever, where would
Right.
that go?
So that would actually
Laura,
that would go down in the bottom part.
So it wouldn't affect assessments that you just read, if it goes down to the bottom.
Yeah, it would decrease this amount.
Okay.
Or scroll down a little bit.
Where do you want me to go to?
The PPAC at the bottom, right? Just scroll down a little bit. I don't know what it's called. Keep going. Right,
You want this?
right here, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Why do we have 60,000? There's 1,000 there.
That was what the board requested. That was,
Well, I think that was just to get
to get you guys to 3%.
it, yeah, so there's 60,000 that you can take out and put up above. Or reduce the 350 to,
We'd increase it.
huh?
This is a spend, this is not an offset. This is a spend to put into your reserves.
I know, but we don't
The
need
board
that.
requested.
That was to get, so that we
For
didn't have a
3%.
decrease.
Okay. Well, you're at a
Carol wanted that
decrease.
in, so we didn't have a decrease.
right now
That's the
you're-
only reason, so
You're
we
at a
could,
decrease right now.
so we can take it, so we now have an increase, so we can
No,
take
you
that
don't. You
out.
have a decrease right now.
right
If
now,
we change the ponds
You're at
and the bank
minus
to
0.1
350.
and minus 2.2. You have a decrease right now.
what caused that? What took that down from the 3.2?
Because I dropped it by $300,000.
She took the 650 for the ponds.
Down
the-
350.
The 350, she took 300 out of that.
But if you take that 60 and move it up to, add it to the 350, add a little bit more, you're still be under the 3.2%.
The 60 is already calculated into this percentage. It's already
Correct.
in there. I'm just,
I know, but it allocates differently.
So let's time out. What are you trying to accomplish? What is your target that you're trying to get to for the assessment? That will make this a lot easier instead of just picking at it. What are you trying to accomplish? What is your goal?
We're trying to get as much in the pond that as we can and have stay under our 3.2% increase.
Okay, but what is your target?
What are you trying to get to, Ed?
Yes.
2%, 2.5%, 0?
3, 0,
I'd like to get to
1?
3 at least.
2.8.
Somewhere in there, somewhere closer that,
2.5 is
but if you
fine.
take the 60, that makes that
I
410.
understand, but that's why I'm asking, what are you aiming for? What is your target?
2.5.
Okay.
Somewhere between 2 and 2.5 is
Plug
the,
numbers in.
It's been 2.5 for 15 years.
okay.
It doesn't vary a lot, guys.
That probably shouldn't change
Still
it.
negative.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, that
half.
went even
So-
more
So now, you know,
How'd that happen?
add a, you know,
Make 5.
How did you add money and it went larger negative factor?
There, 2.1 and minus
so you
1.8.
can almost probably get close to,
Well, 650 was in there when we started to get to the three.
No, I'm at 5. I'm at 500. So
Right. I
You're
know.
at
but
500.
put in 550.
I think that's gonna be too much.
And let's see what it,
Yep, told you.
3.6,
I was
okay.
right. All right,
But anyway, you could,
2.4.
we could live with that.
Okay, so 510,
but you could still get to the 650 if we took the difference from
140,
landscape reserves.
or unassigned.
Or
Depends on where you
unassigned,
want to
yes.
take it from.
So we can allow that work to move forward in 27, 28 versus, and still keep the budget.
26, 27, you mean, or 27? Because you put it in the budget to actually spend. It's not in the reserves. You put it on the line that says, we're going to do this work next year.
Right, okay, but if we do the 650, you would then need to offset 140 of that from.
Correct.
You could take it
Somewhere.
from somewhere, either PPAC's unassigned reserves or landscape BUCO surplus.
I can live with it sitting like this. I think Jim will be satisfied. And then if the board, if our group is willing to look at using unassigned to allow them to move forward, I would say let's go for it.
Okay, so do you want me, then what is your direction? Do you want me to get this to 650 and figure out what it'll take to pull forward from the unassigned? Or are you just
Need this
gonna,
to be 650,
that's what I'm saying, yes.
and then we need to offset that with
In the
use
bottom,
of other
by the
funds.
140,000.
Right.
Okay,
Part of what he said, then the 60 that you're suggesting, however, Laura's saying the board.
well, that was to get it to 3%.
That's the only reason it was there, so
Yes.
we take it out, the board's.
And
not
you
gonna
guys have not
object.
put any money in your reserves,
I think I'll object.
which is okay because you have each of the committees now, I believe they all have something in their reserves, which last year we didn't, because like here you have capital reserves. They don't for landscape, but their budget's always fat. But safety and security put money into their reserves for next year. Landscape did not, and right now ponds does have something in theirs. And I think that was in the past two budgets, including this year and then the current year and then the previous year, you guys didn't put any money into any reserves anywhere.
Right.
And that was what we were trying to help prevent. So
Go down to where you would offset this.
All the way to the bottom.
All the way to the bottom. We just need, this would have 140,000 in it, and we just have,
Use it.
PPAC has to decide whether or not we want to use surplus or use PPAC's unassigned.
it does matter a little bit,
Um,
yeah. I could just put it here.
$650
I can just put it here.
Unassigned. in
Yeah.
Well,
PPAC.
in conversations with Mark, he has been more than willing to let us use his carry forward. He has said there's no problem with that.
So we're changing ponds back to 650. and then offsetting it with 140,000 on the bottom. So it's a net of 150 or 510.
That reduced, that kept around 2.5%, correct? Wasn't that the number?
That was at
Or
5.10.
That's your-
2.4.
2.4.
And
And it dropped this from 78,000 down to 51. So
Went a little higher. I mean, you could fudge it up so that even the multifamily didn't have.
that's
a
why I asked
decrease.
what's your target? So do you want me to get closer to where we were for the high water? Or were you, I mean, we still have another month because you still have your August meeting. So I can play around with a couple different things, but I'll start with this. I'll put the ponds back to 650, offset it by 140,000 from reserves on the bottom to get it to be the net of the 510, which gets us here. Yeah, where we're sitting right now. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I feel comfortable with that.
That way they could go ahead and do the ponds. It would be fully funded this year. They could then do another pond the following year if they wanted.
Potentially. Hey, Bob,
Question. If you do what you,
can you please state who you are?
yes, Bob Geppert. Last meeting, you were going to bank the money before you did the pond. And now I'm hearing that's changed again.
Yeah,
Okay,
based
so
on,
here's my question.
okay,
If you spend it this year, then you can have the money to put it back next year.
Mhm.
You're going through an awful lot of gyrations to come out the same spot.
right. But you get the work done faster. And that seems,
What doesn't need to be done, Peggy? This is not a critical pond.
listening to the ponds group, they do feel that this is something they'd
One guy
like.
that feels that way, but that's all right, he's the chairman. That pond is not in bad shape. They're going to do it. But it's a never-ending, you're smiling, but it's a never-ending process. We can do 30 ponds a year if you want.
Right.
And then you can end up like Gateway, 21 million in the hole.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be done.
Well,
Doug,
What?
do you disagree with that? Pond 21 is not critical.
I don't think Florida management will come in and say there's any issue.
They're never going to say our word. That's
Right.
exactly right.
That's a fact.
So you pull the money ahead this year, and I don't care. I disagree with it, but I don't care. But then you're just going to put it back next year. Now, I just heard Ed throw out a new one.
No, we ain't putting it back next year. Bob, because
You're not going to do a pond in 28.
Well, I'm saying it's not going to be put back.
You don't have a need.
Well, if you
We're
don't-
not here to
if you don't
spend the
have a-
money because we got the money. You spend the money for a need
we have a list of ponds that need to have work done.
that may or may not need. We don't have any that are critical or even close.
Okay.
I don't want you just spending money because you got the money. Please don't just do that. That's what Gateway does.
Bob, just, if we have the money in the budget and we don't do it, we don't spend it, still, the money is available, goes into the ponds reserve, right? For
Here's
next year,
the
when
problem,
you-
Tom. I agree with you 100%. But if you didn't do it in 27, come 28, you got a ton of money to do it.
Right.
So that's when you spend it. And then when 29 comes, you're starting all over again. And you got another 300,000 or whatever yearly allocation is.
Okay, well, I'm confused.
I'm confused too because we keep moving money around and it's funny money.
No, I'm just looking, if we have the money in the budget this year,
We
600.
we don't. Only if we take 350 or some number out of reserves. You got
Out of unassigned, so they're not out of reserves.
reserves.
And
In
they're
the
not
budget,
technically
you've got
reserves.
X number, $100,000.
140,000 from carry forward.
From carry forward.
So if you just take your budget number, it's 300, I believe. You save it this year and spend it all next year. But if you don't spend it, you don't have to do all these other gyrations. You just defer.
Then we're at a negative assessment.
No, I'm not saying you get to a negative, so that's a different equation altogether. The reason you're doing all these gyrations is to pay for it next year. That's why you're going through all these hoops.
Well,
No, not totally.
No.
Well, the main thing the objective was that we didn't impact golf to a $60,000 assessment, which was related entirely to doing the pond next year and paying for it next year. And that's because of their relationship to the impervious surfaces, to answer what
Right.
Peggy said. If you don't do it, golf's going to stay with a $20,000 increase. If you do it in 28, doesn't impact anybody else.
We'd have a negative tax increase.
You can always fluctuate that to put in reserves. permanent reserve.
So machinations there.
Well, but that's what we've always, historically, I'm giving you 15 years worth
I'd
of
I'd
how
rather
we've
do
done it.
machinations that end result, we get something for the community versus
Reserve, we've always had a great
we
reserve.
have a great reserve.
Right.
That is not at risk. What we're talking about though is let's let our subcommittee have the discussion. Let them come to us and tell us what they want without our thumbs on the scale.
That's wrong, but okay, if that's what, I hear you,
Yeah.
because then what are you gonna do in 28? They may come up with another one.
They may.
And they'll have another one in 20. That's not a good decision.
All right.
You need to you got a new chairman over there. If this guy had still been there, you wouldn't be having these discussions.
Maybe
We
not.
have a new chairman, and
Yeah.
that's his recommendation.
Let's let the process work
Let's
through.
spend, Gateway's giving you the path, if that's what you want to do. And that's all you're doing is spending money for no reason.
Probably have park money to
Yeah.
make up next year.
Yeah, Park might come.
You ought to
a
look
little
at this
higher.
holistically, and I'm afraid you're not. You're listening to the
after.
chairman, and that's important. I do value that, but you got to look at the whole thing, and you're not doing that.
Okay. Well, we'll take that into consideration. Thank you.
No, you won't.
No, we will. I'm trying to figure out where,
We need to hear all perspectives, but we're not rubber stamping you.
Decision a month ago, and now you've totally changed it. What changed?
Talking to people.
Then why did you take a decision last month?
We didn't.
You didn't make a decision last month. They gave me options that they wanted to discuss at the meeting this
Yeah.
month.
The decision last month was to wait a year.
No, it wasn't.
No.
It was, no, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
It was not. It was
There
for me
was-
to give them options, which we ran through today.
Yeah,
That's-
let's, okay.
This is Patricia. Can you hear me?
Hey, Patricia, I have a suggestion. You need to turn your camera off. You're using a lot of bandwidth. I have the feeling you don't have great internet where you are, and that's why you keep getting kicked off. So if you turn off your
Okay.
camera, that'll really help.
I don't know how to turn it off. Hold on, I got it. Okay, turn
There you go.
off.
That should help because that sucks up a lot of bandwidth. This way you can just
Oh,
talk.
thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a forest, so I agree. So anyway, I missed a lot, but I don't know, did we come up with what our objective is? Is our objective to not have the assessment at 3.2% increase? And I didn't hear what everybody thought. The annual inflation rate at the moment is 4.2%. So I think a 3.2% increase is going to be acceptable, but if we have the ability to make it lower, that would be great. And then in the future, if it has to go up, then people are going to wonder, well, why did it go up again? I mean, 3.2%, I think, has been the average that we've increased the assessment every year, if I'm not mistaken. Is that around what people expect?
I think we determined that we want it to float between 2.4 and 2.7, somewhere around there.
Generally try to stay 3 or less Yeah.
3 or less.
for
Three or
single
less.
family. Yeah,
Okay.
so,
generally.
so just going back to Bob with the 3 or less.
Mhm.
If we didn't do the pond, what would we do to get it 3 or less rather than down in the -2?
We would basically 3/4 fund it to have them have a bigger amount to carry
But we
over.
wouldn't expect it to be done in
Correct.
So
27.
you would move the funds from the, we're going to do it this year line to, we're going to put money in it to do it next year line.
And what's wrong with that? Rather than saying we're going to do it next year. What is-
You have a negative increase then.
No, I'm going back to, I don't want to see the negative increase.
No, it would just shift lines is what I'm saying. You would just move it from the, we're doing it this year to, we're going to do it next year line.
would
And so it
still stay
stays,
at the
this
two-
would stay
It would
exactly the
just not
same.
have the work be done next
Does
year.
it change the golf course
It
number?
would stay exactly the same because your total ponds budget doesn't change. It just, I move it from one line to the next.
So either way, the golf course is going to get that 50K.
The only way you could,
52K.
the only way you could reduce the golf course increase is if you took the big chunk of it and moved it from ponds to PPAC capital reserves. Because then that gets allocated differently than the water.
And so I'm just, and what's wrong with that?
It's just a matter of what does the group, the subcommittee want to do? Do they want to have that?
This is Patricia. When Jim came last meeting and talked to us and we asked him that, what do you think? Does it matter that this pond gets done next year or the following year? And he said he waffled with it. He did not say it had to be done next year. He was very, very, very accommodating that it could be done next year or the following year. It's not an absolute mandatory thing to do next year.
It absolutely is not, but in the bigger picture of the people that are willing to put the effort into working with the contractors and getting it done next year, would like to see it done next year. It's not mandatory. There's nothing that's driving us to do this. It's something I want us to consider. So.
Okay, we're considering.
Yeah, and also I
But
think
it's not,
we're dealing with we're dealing with
you don't want to push it back to the subcommittee, which is what I'm hearing you say, that you want to give the subcommittee another shot at making a decision. No, I think they already came forward. So it's really up to us and where to put it in the budget, I think.
what they're at right now is they've put it in the budget to have it done for next year.
Correct. At 650,000.
That is exactly what we're sitting at if we go forward with a 3.2. Now we're trying to look at what are some alternatives that we've got.
Okay.
So you'll have, they have their meeting on the 10th. And you'll have yours on the 13th, so I'll have live updates in the budget, and then the public hearing for the budget is on the 20th of August.
You really want to give it back to them, or what?
Here, if I could, the way this is supposed to work is it should come from the subcommittee to PPAC to the board. So
yes. That's why I'm asking why.
So don't push it back down?
I don't think you need to push it back down. Jim gave you the opportunity to do.
Do you feel like you got, can I ask, did you feel like you got clear direction from Jim when he was here last time? That's my question.
I feel like Jim feels very.
He said either, he said either or.
Yeah, and that's kind of the impression I got. I'm not trying to steer it either way. I just want to make sure that we look at everything and you guys are happy with it because I just punch in the numbers. So, I don't really have any skin in the game. I just punch in the numbers. But I want to make sure that if they're not sure what they want to do, is it possible that they maybe have some good discussion at their next meeting and they make a decision to bring to you guys, and you can still override what they do. And again, once it gets to the board, they can override what you guys decide to do. So
there's a difference between sure what they want to do and don't care whether it's this year or next year.
Well, then I think that's a decision too. Then that means that it goes into the reserves and you don't put it on it moves from this line to the last line then.
That's where I am kind of, it's there if something should happen and break and they needed to do it, it would be there. You can pull it out of your reserves in that year. Correct? If during 27, we didn't really put it in there to do the job, but we put it down in reserves.
It would still be in the budget, yes. And if for something happened and they had to fix it, you could always pull from somewhere else to do that.
I would like this to go back to the subcommittee with the two options. Keep it as it is with 650, do the pond next year, which is what they originally requested, or an alternative is to have them defer it for the next year and have us put in $510,000 towards the next year. And then we won't have to dip into the unassigned. Or the third option would be pull it at $510,000 that would be in their budget and then dip into unassigned and do it in 28.
So
those are the three options.
You want them to make the decision.
I want them to tell us where this should go.
Yeah, I think I would vote.
I could make the decision.
Well, that's what
But it's not me, it's everybody.
Well, yeah.
I think, I think you're
In the
right.
pond's budget.
Wait a minute, Bob, Patricia's talking.
Patricia's,
Go ahead, Patricia.
Yeah, thank you. No, I was just saying, I think the idea is the subcommittee has an opportunity at their next meeting before we meet to give us a more definitive recommendation. And I agree with Laura that we have the time, we should just allow them to do it. I agree.
I feel like we're being pressured into circumventing the system right now. So
I'd say, Bob, one thing, if the subcommittee in their recommendation, because they did do a thing at their last meeting, might cause through the word consider. And there was confusion, Bob.
I went back and listened to it.
Right,
Yep.
and he said consider, but then I asked the question, there was confusion there. If all they did was not to consider, give us your recommendation, not we would consider this, we wouldn't be talking right now.
Right.
Because
It was
that
wording.
recommendation was to consider to move it to the following year and skip this year.
Right, and I,
They didn't make they said consider in that thing, if they just said, we are voting to move it to the following year.
Which
And
they
I have
did
no
not.
problem with
Which
Yeah.
they did not, we wouldn't even be talking right now.
Right, because they would have made it clear what they want to do. So what I see is there's there's three options that we had put into their agenda item. The first, what you said, just make sure I got this down right.
Right.
You're going to keep it at the 650, which they originally proposed. They can defer it and then fund the 510 into reserves, or fund the 510 and use reserves to offset the remaining 140.
This is Bob Geppert again. There's a third item here that we're not talking about. They have a budget to do a pond. Their budget's 300. Forget the 510. They've got a yearly budget of 300,000.
They don't. I disagree. They have a
If they don't?
budget for whatever they decide to put into their budget, which happens to be 650 for what they
No,
propose.
that's this year. If they had an $804,000 budget, how much is for a pond?
I don't have it in front of me, but
300,000.
it's not, they
Okay,
set their
all right,
budget
all right,
every
don't-
year.
You don't want to
so-
influence, so just don't influence. They have a budget to do ponds
Correct.
every year. If they spend it and they're under it, then the extra money goes in reserves. The only reason we're having this discussion is the pond that they want to do is greater than their budget. So if they wait a year, then they don't have to have any other transfers.
Right.
They're fine.
and I'd have
So
no
there's
problem with that.
I know, but all I'm saying is no $500,000 number. They've got a budget in their amount of money. And whatever that is, they either spend it or they don't. If they don't spend it in 27, it's available for 28.
But their budget for this year was 650.
Well, that's because they were pulling ahead out of reserves. That's why
They
that came
weren't,
to.
they were fully funding that 650.
Yeah,
Are you
Fully
sure
funded.
about that?
Yes, they were fully funding that 650.
Then what are we talking about? Why aren't we just doing it?
That's at a 3.
that's what we're saying.
The reason we're not doing it is because by fully funding at 650, we negatively impact golf. And if we wait a year, then we don't.
The reason that we're discussing it is because at the last ponds meeting, they made a motion to consider moving it to 28 and partially funding it in
For
27.
anybody who was in that meeting, I heard the word consider, that all came out afterwards. There was full intent of that group that they were going.
And that's why
That's
since
not
there's,
true, Bob.
It was the verbatim.
yeah, so let's go back to them, ask for clarity on what their intent is, give them three options.
Yep, and I will bring
And then
that
when
to
they
you.
come back, we'll either fully
And
fund
they'll
this year.
fully know that if they do that, they're going to impact golf by 60-some thousand dollars versus waiting a year and there's no
But
impact.
you said golf was not going to be impacted.
The letter that went out originally was for them to have a $78,000 increase, which was at the 650. So
$50,000 increase.
over
Been
last year,
such great
yes.
partners
But
to us.
Pardon?
They've been such great partners to
Well,
us.
they really are, but that's beside the point. It's just not fair. I don't really care.
Okay.
I don't have it in, I'm not even a
Let-
golf member.
Let's just,
I have the three options. I will
Choice
create
of
I will,
negatively impacting them or waiting a year, and nobody's hurt.
yeah.
Can
And
you, on those three options, know what the golf line item will be?
not that that should really play into it.
it shouldn't pay into it. It doesn't matter what,
That's what Bob.
it doesn't matter that I agree with Peggy. It shouldn't matter. It should look, what do you guys, the budget
do we
should
need to
reflect what you guys want to do next year. And sometimes the impact is not favorable for one or more people in the assessment. It just happens that way.
I think that if they come back and ask for full funding, we need to determine what our options are if we want to drive that 3.2 down. How are we going to do it?
Right, right, right.
Right,
your
and you can
suggestion-
offset stuff in the bottom, you can use reserves, you can use carry forward, that, you can absolutely do that, yeah. If they decide they want to do the full 650 and you want to try to reduce the impact
They
on
wanna
the
try
golf
to
course,
reduce that
you have
3.2.
options. Yeah, you absolutely have options.
All right.
But let's not cut that subcommittee off until we've got a definitive answer
Yep,
from
I will
them.
do the agenda item with those three options and let them know that came from you guys, that you want to know that these are the three choices and please pick one and then that's what we'll move forward with.
The thing is you could do that, let's just say, a lot more of this instead of the 140 at the bottom. You know, at the bottom of the spreadsheet here, then you put 140 in there to help fund.
Well, I would do, that where I have that 510 highlighted would
Yeah.
increase to 650 and I would
Right, with the
offset, but the
140.
impact would be the same as with the 510. That's the net would be 510.
Yeah, but
'Cause
that
it's-
would be 510, and you can reduce that number 510 even more.
Or
by
you could
Move them
increase-
more to the bottom.
Well, no, but, okay, this is where it always gets confusing. The number on that line needs to reflect how much you're going to actually spend.
Okay.
The number at the bottom offsets how much you're going to assess.
Okay.
And that's, so the net of that. So this, if you want to do the whole thing, that would go back to 650 and then we would find $140,000
On the bottom.
somewhere on the bottom so that the net would be the 510. But your budget has to reflect how much we're going to write checks for. And then the bottom part just offsets the actual assessment. The impact of your budget.
And it does, we should not, sorry, my opinion is that the consider statement that they made, we should not have pushed that forward as a motion. I mean, that, you don't, that's not actionable. So that was just me.
Okay, so I will put that agenda item together for their meeting in August with the 3 options, and I'm sure most of you will either be online or no. Either way, I'll bring it back when you have your meeting that week, and we will move forward and then take that to the board at their meeting on the 20th.
Did the funds group, did they get Lou? I haven't seen that. Fill out the paperwork to be on the, because right now Lou Lemaire is not on the ponds group.
Oh,
It might be because it came in after their last meeting.
He didn't fill out, you know how when who was it?
Right,
You.
yeah, you
Well,
have to.
he didn't fill out the paperwork and then the last meeting, he could not vote.
Oh, so his term was up and he hasn't gone for
And he
renewal?
didn't, he's not good with paperwork. just
I know
put it
that.
Let me ask Georgia.
He's in your group.
He takes everything and he puts it into a,
Yeah.
oh, I'll remind, he needs to fill that out. That's, whether he
or he
likes.
might have already.
Otherwise, you might not have a quorum at the next meeting. That's the only reason I bring it up.
Oh, yeah, he's your quorum guy.
I just asked Georgia. Let's see if she responds. It's
Okay.
only 3, so.
Okay, anything else
Okay.
that we want to talk through on the budget? Are we feeling like we beat this horse enough?
Yeah.
Ed, you're unseasonably quiet.
By the way, has said he's not going to renew. I just said until you turn one of those ponds into an ice rink.
Yeah. Good luck.
Funny.
There for a second, I thought you
He's
were
a
serious.
hockey player, Patricia.
Oh, he did fill out his paperwork.
Oh, good.
So it'll
Then why
go
didn't we approve it here?
because it didn't make it in time for the last ponds meeting, so it'll go to the next ponds meeting.
So he won't
It
be
will-
able to vote.
So we
it'll
won't be able
be-
to vote anyway.
If they vote him in, he can, well, yeah, true.
We
should've
can't do
came
that.
away.
We
We're
don't
not
have the
the end of
ability to
this
do
move.
that now.
It has to come as a recommendation from the pond subcommittee to you guys first.
Yeah, it's a hoopla.
There's no
I
way
know.
for us to approve him in advance. I mean,
Not that I'm aware of.
No other candidates.
Should the Ponds Committee recommend Lou Lemire, we
He's
would
supposed to get
accept
approved
that
on the 10th.
recommendation. Can I do that?
I don't think you can because it didn't come from there. It's all the, welcome to my
Gotta
life.
file to the pen.
Government bureaucracy, yes.
You could make that recommendation, might not be valid.
Consider.
Yes, we
I-
could make that recommendation, we could vote on
consider- we
it, and
will
we could be
consider
over.
him.
His term
Positively.
already expired though, right?
Oh,
They wouldn't let him vote last time,
Yeah, because his term expired. So he's actually rejoining, he's not extending.
but he did say he was gonna fill it out. at
He
the
did.
meeting.
Special meeting.
He did, but he didn't,
Yes.
he didn't fill it out in time to make it to the last meeting,
We can do
so
that a week's notice.
Georgia says it'll be there on the
No,
10th.
until that
Okay,
Georgia lets them know like at least
Oh,
2 or 3 months ahead of time,
Is
so
there anything
yeah.
else on the agenda?
No, that's what I'm looking at here.
Okay.
There's nothing. Mo, staff update. I know Marty's not here, but I was tasked to find out from Tetra Tech why the bid tabs were so far off. Stephen did get back to me. He said for Pond 43, they used the unit prices from Extreme Divers in Copeland from the previous ponds, 47 and 48 is where they came up with their estimate of 507. The bids came in between 270 and 1.14 million, so they were kind of right in the middle of the high. And then the resurfacing, they said they only did an estimate for the work that they designed, which was a base bid. So the estimate for their work was 323. And the bids for the base bid were from 235 to 387, so at 323, they really were not, they weren't far off. He said what he thought is that somebody was referencing an earlier number for the resurfacing, which they had said was going to be between 800 and 900,000, but they redid it. It said it wasn't an estimate, it was the actual cost to do the work if it would have been done under one of Lee County's continuing pavement contracts. And after they presented that cost, we decided to go out to bid and get a better price. So that's where that came from. So I just wanted to make sure
Tell him thank
that I
you.
closed the loop on that.
Yeah.
I have a very long email, so.
Shows our county tax dollars are not being spent very well.
That's another way to look
Wait,
at
look at my
it.
surprise face, yeah.
Did you have any other staff update?
Oh, the Wiser, we worked through all of the hiccups. The lease is good. I don't think it's signed yet, but that'll be coming to the board. Wiser has to sign it. There was some insurance stuff we worked through with them. That's all done. The light bar was supposed to be here June 25th, and now the estimated ship date is like August 4th or something like that. So they're saying that there's transit delays and material delays and all that, but I'm optimistic that it will be done before we need the vehicle in October. So that's pretty much where that's at. But other than that, I do not have anything.
Let's go on to member items. Tom, anything from you?
I'm good for the day.
I'm good.
I'm good.
You've got a couple things for next meeting agenda?
All I have is about the broker. Well, and obviously we budget. That
Budget.
budget's like a given until after
Yeah,
it gets
for sure.
adopted.
Lou on there.
Well, he'll be on there, yeah, Lou.
right.
So I have the broker, if we're gonna renew it, if they have suggestions from them, like for how to better
Pricing,
market it,
yeah.
different price or something like that, we'll reach out. And then the monuments will be on there.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll be on there next month. Is there anything else?
I have a question, Patricia. The landscape committee is not meeting for several months, so are we going to go ahead and approve have them go ahead and put the Washingtonians in, and then in the fall, they can reconsider what we do at the Four Corners there? Is that kind of where we are going on that one?
My sense of it is that we'll have to have a conversation with Mark to see if he wants to move forward quickly and what his preference would be. It might be one of his exceptions that if he wants to move forward with replacing them. But
Okay, yeah.
But we do need to talk about what to do about lightning in that, is
Yeah.
there an alternative plant material or lightning pole or something that we could do?
Right, okay, thank you.
We can do it.
Yeah. Just stand out there with an umbrella.
You want me to put that on your agenda for
Yeah,
next time?
let's talk about that too. All right, can I get a motion to, excuse me, John or Patricia, did you have anything? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nope, I'm good, thank you.
John? He's on mute. Is he nodding? Is he,
I don't see him.
okay, he's off, okay.
Dog bark, maybe that was him.
Oh, that might have been, okay. All right, let's get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, we've got a motion by Tom to adjourn and a second by Mr. Zanter.
317.
Yay. All in favor?
Aye.
Hey. Thank you. Thanks, Patricia.
Okay.